Okay, here we go. I'm joined by Liam South, the mastermind behind the Voice Notes podcast. Thanks for jumping on, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yes, quite the intro. Yeah, mastermind. Never been described as a mastermind than anything really, but yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so mate, I'm a fan. I really enjoyed the pod. I started listening to it when you first launched it a couple of months ago now. And obviously you get some great guests on there as well. You've had some really cool people on, but you also do episodes with yourself where you're just kind of talking about things that are going on in the world. So yeah, just tell us about kind of how it came about, how you got started, and yeah, what people can expect if they listen.
Thanks for your sort of kind words. It's yeah, it means a lot when someone because I'm always looking for feedback anyway. And it just it means a lot when someone says something like that. So yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, the podcast is pretty much came about because I'd studied radio at university, and I was on a radio course and did like the student radio every single week. And afterwards, I just thought like, okay, I'll do a podcast. But I always chatted about it. And like uni was 6 years ago, and it sort of came about from me losing my job because I just thought I better just do it or shut up about it, because I've harped on so much about it, and I've always said like, oh yeah, when I do the podcast, I'll get him on, I'll do this, I'll do that, and like always spoke about the Tyler interview and spoke about the Reese interview and all that other stuff. But it just became time to just like shut up and actually do it. So, and it's for me, for my own mental health, it's been the best thing probably for me this year. Like a lot of like personal stuff go wrong, like everyone else has. But it's been the sort of thing that sort of kept me going, and you know, it's all worth it when you said what you said, and I've got like friends who have reached out. But yeah, what people can expect from it is just sometimes mainly me, but sometimes my housemate Connor jumps on, and then when I can get a few guests on there as well, and trying to make it as interesting as possible and topical and trying to be as funny as I possibly can. So it's pretty much just a little bit of structure goes into it. I know it's not as crisp as I want it to be, but I'm confident it will get better and better as time goes on. But yeah, that's pretty much the crux of it, really. Just kind of chatting about football, chatting about just stuff trying to keep it light, just because I know what's been going on this whole year. Everyone's had a bit of a hard time. So if I can make someone laugh, and cheer someone up, then I've done my job, really. So trying to keep it as light as possible.
No, I think that's what you need, man, especially now, like with everything being so serious in the news and COVID and everything else. It's nice to have something kind of lighthearted and easy listening. So yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I say, I'm a big fan there. I'm really enjoying it. Just going back to what you said. So you mentioned at university. Was that the point where you kind of decided, or sort of what point did you decide that this is what you wanted to do? Because obviously podcasting, it sort of picked up a lot of momentum lately. You've got people like the goats of it, like Joe Rogan and stuff. Was there like a moment of inspiration for you where you decided like, yeah, this is a bit of me, this is what I want to do?
Like everyone, I've listened to Joe Rogan. I've not listened to him that much recently. I've kind of explored a little bit more, but I think, yeah, because just my interest from radio. I loved specialist music. I'm a bit of a music snob. If you've listened to the podcast, I have a bit of a come across as a bit of a knob edge with that one. But yeah, a bit of a music snob, and I love like just different genres. So that doing radio, I never did a podcast at uni. It was more just kind of the radio and just doing that, really. But it was never really, I think, probably watching people like Joe Rogan, like other comedians are like Bill Burr. His podcast is really great. Like I sort of modeled my style off his, really, if anything, just trying to be as just conversational, as flowing as possible, just on my own. Because when I've got someone else on like Connor or Tyler or guests, then I've got a purpose, and it's kind of it can run fairly naturally, or I hope it does run naturally. But with myself, it can be a bit of a challenge because, we all like to think, it's just a difficult job, like to talk on your own. I think it's all about momentum. Like your mate Danny said last week, if you keep doing it, it becomes a lot more easier. But Inspiration, I just try and listen to, everyone listens to a bit of true crime and everyone listens to all sorts, because there's everything out there. Mainly listen to like sports podcasts, just things that, like I said, like I try and take inspiration from everything I listen to, just to kind of keep it light, like we've said, not too intense. And if I do have to breach a topic, then I look to other things. But my mum actually came to me about, like, because she wants to start a podcast about her HR business and like just business in general. And she was like, "What advice would you give me?" I was like, 2 episodes in, I was like, like you come with, I'm not like a seasoned vet. I'm just a guy with 2 episodes. If I was to give anyone advice, and obviously I do this as well myself, if you want to start a podcast, just think about what you want it to be, whether it be like a specialist subject like true crime or like sport, like whatever, and listen to as much as that as possible. Listen to it, because it's all out there. If you want to do a business podcast, there's everything is out there. Like, I would just listen to as much as you can, be a bit of a sponge and take something from all of those, really, because it's all out there. But I'd say just mainly inspiration from sort of comedians podcasts like Joe Rogan, like Bill Burr, like Theo Vaughn, Tom Segura, and all those guys. I think because I think because I'm quite a light-hearted person, I quite like to, I've always had interest in comedy as well. So I think just I naturally gravitate towards those. And yeah, I think just a bit of everything, really.
So I suppose when you like have a guest on, like your housemate or someone else, like that's something to sort of structure it around. But and also I love what you've done with like the logo, and love the social media as well. Obviously, we listen to the podcast, and it's a nice hour out of our day. But how much like sort of prep goes into all of that, and sort of how do you sort of bring it all together?
So I think of ideas all the time, and I always write on my notes on my laptop. So I'm always thinking of like little funny bits all the time, like a notepad by my bed, just in case like I'm watching telly, or if I've watched something in particular I found funny, or just something that comes into my mind. So I'm always like writing notes, and always think like what could be, what could cross over quite nicely, and what I think would be entertaining and just good for the listener, easy on the ear. So I mainly start prepping because I record on Tuesdays. It's out every single Wednesday, and then from then afterwards, it's like just bits and bobs, and then really kick into gear. Like, okay, what am I going to talk about on Tuesday come the weekend? So Saturday, Sunday, a lot of sort of like just note taking, and how am I going to structure it? Like, what's my intro going to be like? What's the middle part going to be like? And I'm now being a bit more. I hope it comes across like that. I'm trying to be a bit more kind of concise with the timing of what I'm talking about. So I think just throughout the week, really bits and bobs, but I'd say a couple of days beforehand, on the day as well, just little bit of notes. And I think what sort of best prepared me for that is like just background in like doing a radio degree, because we had to, like, part of our course at one point we had to mimic like live radio stations like BBC Radio 4, like program days. So preparing for all that stuff, I know I'm not quite Radio 4, but it's sort of put me in good stead, I feel, because I know how to. I feel like I know what I'm doing to a certain degree.
So you mentioned there with the structure and episodes coming out every Wednesday. At this stage, are you just trying to keep that momentum going that you've been building? And how are you kind of bringing that all together?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it. Keep the momentum going, really. Remember when I was first, like, if I say first time now, it's only been a couple of months, but like the 3rd or 4th episode, I was like, during the day, I was like, I won't record tonight, I'll record tomorrow. And I said to myself, no, like, you're doing it tonight, just, and my housemate Connor was like a big, like motivation sort of thing before. It's just like, no, you've got a bit of momentum going now, keep it going, because you'll kick yourself if you don't do it. And that's been important for me, just to have a kind of structure. There's only been one day when I've not brought it out on the Wednesday, and I think that was episode 10, because this as well, like, I don't know what it says about me, but it probably tells something. I'm getting like a bit more conscious about what I'm putting out there. I recorded it on the Tuesday, I can't remember. I recorded it, and I was like, it was nothing but drivel for about 15-20 minutes, and I was like, I'm not really in the right headspace for it. I've not prepared that much for it, or what I have prepared is just utter nonsense, or what I feel. And I thought, if I put this out there, it's not going to be easy on the ear, or people are just going to be like, what on earth are you chatting about? People do that anyway, but it's I just wasn't really happy with the product, so I recorded it on Wednesday, then brought it out on the Thursday. So I think that's the only time that's happened. But yeah, I've tried to be fairly regimented with it, because I think that just helps me as a person, because I can be a bit too laid back at times with certain other aspects of my life.
And so do you have a day job at the moment, and this is sort of very much on the side?
Yeah, I've got a day job, and then I just this is pretty much takes most of my kind of focus, and it's my passion. And like I said, this came from me losing a job, unfortunately, in January. And as kind of corny and cheesy as it sounds, I was saying to my parents and my close friends, it's finally time to start doing what I want to do with my life, trying to chase my dream almost. And that's what I've decided to do. And it's that classic thing where I started it, and I'm thinking after a while, why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't I, give it a go earlier? Because I know I can do it. And it's not like I've got an esteemed radio background, but I've got a kind of halfway idea of what sounds good and what doesn't, like everyone else does. But I decided obviously not to kick myself. I'm just happy I'm doing it now.
Yeah, no, I said this on the call with Danny as well. It's like it feels like guilty or weird to even say that something good's come of this period, because it's just been so crap for everyone for so long. But yeah, it's I feel like a lot of people maybe have had that moment where they just think, yeah, this is actually what I want to do now. Whether it's because I've been given more time, or because perhaps it's just put things into perspective. But yeah, it's funny just how things come together like that, and kind of ideas we've all had kind of just come into existence. It's kind of the same with me, with a few bits and pieces as well. So I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, it's strange to think that in such a bad time, something so great could come from it. But that seems to be the case for a lot of people at the moment.
And that interview with Danny was really, really good, really interesting, because I've never because we know each other a little bit from back home, because we're all from the Fens, we're all from the same place. That was a really interesting kind of interview on him, and how he started. Might have listened wrong, but when he just started with felt tip pens, and now that's taken him to a different he's now getting free pens off that company, and his art's getting recognised on Joe Rogan. That's sick. The little things you decide to do can just kind of keep spinning and keep going. So yeah, it's mad how from something really shit, something can come out, something good can come out.
Yeah. So you mentioned your passion for it. How does it feel when you work on an episode and you're doing something that you're passionate about and that you've wanted to do for a while, and then you put it out there and it's on Spotify and people are listening and people are giving feedback? What does that feel like?
Well, it's nice when you get the reaction when you post it, and you're exactly right. It's yes, another episode down, another one ticked off the box. Keep that train moving. But it's nice when obviously you get the feedback, and when you hear people are actually listening. And it's obviously anything, when you get a like on Instagram and all that stuff, you get a bit of a kick out of it. But it's nice to see good feedback from it, and that people are actually enjoying it, what you're putting out. So that's really nice and really satisfying, and get a bit of a kick out of it. And I do the promo for it every single time I do the episode. Every time I post the episode, I do face the camera. I've never done that before, and I don't think I'll ever be comfortable doing that, because it's just, yeah, I'm not Logan Paul or anyone like that. It's just far from it. But it's just because my housemate would tell you, sometimes it takes me about 20-30 minutes to do one thing. I say, hey guys, episode 11's up. There's and then fuck, it's instantly just again. But I'm getting more to grips with that. I'll never really be comfortable with it, but it's something I feel I have to do for it to grow, and to because I've got to put myself out there as much as I can if I want to get noticed, or just yeah, well, make it grow really.
So in terms of like the promotion you do for the podcast and on Instagram, is that something that you kind of set out to do? Did you decide when you started this is how you wanted to market it, or is it something that's just kind of evolved naturally from doing it?
I think little things of like I was always gonna do an Instagram page because that's my main like social media. I've still got Facebook and Twitter, but I've deleted the apps off my phone. I've only got Instagram on my phone, so I thought I would definitely get an Instagram account for it because you kind of have to if you want to promote it as much as you can. So that was always in the pipeline. I didn't have a sort of idea of what I wanted to put out there. I still have like ideas in the pipeline which I want to, but that sort of came naturally because like again the sort of me putting my head on Joe Cole is inspiration from other people's podcasts from putting out, because I remember for Joe Rogan for ages he would put like someone would Photoshop like his face on someone like Joey Diaz and Tom Segura on like, you know, Ric Flair and The Undertaker or something like that. So like that pretty much stemmed from that, like inspiration from there. So what we spoke about earlier. With the stickers, I'd say that was just a kind of observation about living in where I live in Nottingham, because I live pretty much close to the city centre. There's stickers on lampposts and, you know, traffic lights everywhere you go. And like the big kind of sticker really is like 0115, which is the area code for Nottingham, and they're everywhere. There's like a kind of fame. If you see that, then like, and it's like a big account as well on Instagram. And I put one of my stickers next to theirs, and they shared it on their page, and that was like, oh, that was sick. I was buzzing for that. But that was kind of like a, you know, when you have like these little moments, you think they're genius. You're like, I probably had a few drinks. So I was like, I'm fucking gonna get some fucking stickers. Yeah, I'm gonna plaster them around town. But that was pretty much how it, because I just observed and thought like, you know what? I thought that's a good way of, you know, putting it out there a little bit. Even though it only just does say Run VMP, there's more stickers to come, like the Voice Notes podcast on Spotify to come. But it's just a nice little thing to put out there, just to, because I was on the bus the other day and it drove past and I saw like just one of my stickers on one like a sign. I was like, hey, I'm right there, I'm there. So it's just a cool thing for me. I got a little kick out of that. But yeah, it's all sort of just taking off like what other big like Instagram pages do really. I think there's a few things like Barstool Sports, that's like the kind of model I sort of use it off and try and not copy, but sort of make it like similar to mine, how I post stuff. I've not quite managed to put like videos on there. I've got ideas for memes and all that stuff. I've thought about doing a TikTok, but then I kind of keep refraining. Like, yeah, I'll do one. And like, fuck, I'm 28 years old. I'm not going to get a TikTok. So no offense to anyone over the age of 28 who's got a TikTok, but it's yeah, I struggle enough doing the face to camera thing, let alone like a dancing TikTok.
I had to make a conscious decision, like lockdown one, like OG lockdown, not to download TikTok, because I was like, I'm addicted enough as it is to like Instagram and other things, and TikTok is like, from what I've seen, it's just, you just scroll forever and then, you know, 20 hours have gone by, whatever. So yeah, and I'm just, there's no way I'm, you know, dancing in a park either, sticking on this. So it's just not for me. But yeah, but come back to the pod. Like, yeah, future plans and ambitions, really is what I'm interested to know about. So do you have any guests you really want to get on? Have you got a bit of a plan laid out, or are you just kind of just churning it out and taking it sort of as it comes at the moment?
It's a bit of both really. I've got a list of guests I want to get on, because at first, so I wanted to get Reese on and I wanted to get Tyler on because I knew them vaguely, and I thought that was a very good like first sort of target to get. But I've got a list of people who sometimes could be a bit pie in the sky. I'm not going to name any names, but I could, hopefully in the future you'll see. But I think, yeah, I've got fairly big plans for it. I see like an image of it in the future, and I hope it is what I want it to be. But at the same time, running alongside that, if it doesn't, I did it for me, because that's what I wanted to do. And if it gets big, then fantastic. I've made, my passion into, my day-to-day job, or the day job, sorry. But if it doesn't, then I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to keep churning out episodes and trying to get guests on who I think are interested in. I think, the listener will be interested in. So, definitely big plans for it, and big plans to get guests on, because I want to myself, stretch my legs and trying to flex my muscles a bit and become a better interviewer. Because I think even with the Reese one and the Tyler one, they're completely different. Obviously, two completely different people, but like the style of the interview, and I want to get as many people as I can on there, just to make myself better and make it just a better podcast in general for people to listen to.
No, I rate that, man. It's like just doing it for yourself. I think that's awesome. And that's, I guess, the perk of like a passion project, is like, regardless of what transpires down the line, like, you're doing it because you enjoy it, and so kind of only good can come of it, basically.
I'll pull out another cheesy saying from the top drawer. Like, it's all like, you hear about like people focusing on the end, like, the destination. I mean, just enjoying it at the moment. I'm really just enjoying the journey, and like just where it, like, hopefully it will take me somewhere, and if it takes a long time, it takes a long time. I'm still going to be doing it, and I'm looking forward to it. It really like excites me. So yeah, another cheesy line for you. Like, just focus on the journey, I'd say, because a lot of people are too, focused on like, when I get there, when I do this, when I get it. And that's all well and good. Whatever works for you works for you. But I think you can get a bit kind of drawn up in that. I think just go with the flow a little bit more can help you out big time.
Absolutely. Look, I don't want to keep too much of your time. I know you're a really busy guy. So just thanks for jumping on, man. It's been really great chatting about it. Like I said, I've been loving the pod. I think I dropped you a DM when you first said you were doing it. So I just thought that it's such a sick idea, and I've really enjoyed listening to it so far, and I'm sort of looking forward to seeing where it goes. So thanks for taking the time. I don't know if you had any sort of like final comments, maybe if someone's listening to this and they're thinking of giving a podcast a crack, like any kind of tips or thoughts that you would pass on to someone who's thinking of doing the same thing, maybe?
I'd say just if you're thinking about doing it, kind of just do it, because although I'm only 11 episodes in, but I've done it. I'm trying to build up a body of work. Although it's very early, I'm so happy I've done it. And like I said earlier, it was high time for me to just do it, or shut up, or not do it at all. So I think if you're thinking about doing anything, whether it be a podcast, whether you want to be a stand-up comedian, I know it's hard now in this climate, but I'd say podcasts especially. I've got a microphone. I do it on GarageBand. I haven't got like Adobe Audition or any fancy editing software. You don't even need a microphone in some cases. You can just do it on your laptop. You can just set up and do it anywhere. So that's the sort of beauty of it. You can pitch up anywhere and do it, and whatever you think is good, whatever's on your mind, you can. And it's a source of like a bit of therapy as well, because it's quite therapeutic. Just blurting out, whether it's good or bad, whether it's but it's just good for you. I'd say it's do it for yourself and not do it for other people. I'd say.
Perfect, man. We'll leave it there. Voice Notes podcast on Spotify. How can people get you on Instagram? What's the handle?
So podcast Voice Notes on here on Instagram. No, I appreciate you having me on, mate. It's really enjoyed the interview with Danny, and like you said, you messaged me when I started the podcast, and just that makes it kind of worth it. And appreciate the comments. Always looking for good feedback, and just happy people are enjoying it.
Brilliant, man. Well, thanks again for coming on, and hopefully catch up soon. And take care, man. All the best.
Keep smiling. Cheers, buddy.